Welcome back to the Daily Poem here on the Close Reads Podcast Network. I'm David Kern, and today is Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. The poem that I'm going to read today is from a collection that I mentioned yesterday, American Poetry, the 19th Century, Volume 2. It's from Melville all the way up through a section that has American Indian songs and poems, and then folk songs and spirituals. And the poem that I'm going to read today is a spiritual called Many Thousand Gone, also known as No More Auction Block. It's a 6-stanza poem with 4 lines in each stanza. And of course, this was meant to be sung, but I'm going to read it like a poem. So I'm going to read it and then read something quickly from a website called Ballad of America. So this is Many Thousand Gone. As far as I can tell, it's an anonymous spiritual that was probably developed over time. And adapted and evolved. So I don't have an exact name for where it first came from, a poet or a songwriter. But it goes like this. No more auction block for me. No more, no more. No more auction block for me. Many thousand gone. No more peck of corn for me. No more, no more. No more peck of corn for me, many thousand gone. No more driver's lash for me, no more, no more. No more driver's lash for me, many thousand gone. No more pint of salt for me, no more, no more. No more pint of salt for me, many thousand gone. No more 100 lash for me, no more. No more, no more 100 lash for me, many thousand gone. No more mistress call for me, no more, no more. No more mistress call for me, many thousand gone. The website Ballad of America has a little intro to this particular poem, so I Googled it and wanted to see if I could find the name of the person where it came from. And they have a little section here, and they say this, quote, enslaved African Americans created a varied body of music that included work songs, leisure songs, and spirituals. The sound was rooted in African traditions and informed by the European American music to which they were now being exposed. Likewise, African hymns, harmonies, and vocal styles had a great influence on the music of European Americans. The words to the spiritual Many Thousand Gone, aka No More Auction Block, conveyed various messages depending on whether the singer was a slave, runaway slave, African American Union soldier, or emancipated former slave. End quote. So there's a few things I wanted to just say about this. One, obviously American music and American verse owes a great deal to the work songs, leisure songs, and spirituals that Ballad of America mentions were created by enslaved African Americans. So I wanted to read a spiritual for that reason, because there's a debt there. There's a degree of influence that has been passed on into the music and the poems and the language that we hear and speak and read today. But there's also a pathos, an element of pathos in this poem, in this song, that I think makes it extra meaningful, I guess is the right word. Because, of course, each stanza has this repetitive form, which is not new in poetry. That's, of course, as old as, the epics. We see it going way, way back in ancient poems. But the pathos to me does not necessarily come in the no more, no more, no more, no more repetition that happens in the first 3 lines of each stanza. There are 4 no mores. And of course that can be read as a longing, longing for no more auction block and each of the things that each of the stanzas references. It can also be read as those things are not going to happen anymore, so no more of that. And that repetitiveness is mournful, especially when it's sung, that's mournful. But then the last line of each stanza is where the ultimate, deeper pathos, I think, comes in. Many thousand gone is the final line of each stanza. So 6 times that word, many thousand gone, is there. And even if you can read this poem in the sort of hopeful light of there isn't going to be any more auction block, there isn't going to be any more peck of corn or driver's lash or pint of salt or 100 lash or mistress call. If we want to read it in that hopeful light that those things are gone, there's no more of those things, even so, many thousand gone. And it suggests perhaps that there's many thousand auction blocks gone, many thousand lashes or mistress calls or whatever it is in each stanza. But it also suggests that there is not just that for each individual person, but it suggests the context of how many thousands of people endured that. And more than just the fact that they have influenced the language and the songs and the music that we know today, these spirituals and work songs and leisure songs that were created by the enslaved African Americans, they commemorate, they honor the people who did endure those things. So I think that's why these kinds of poems and songs ought to be and will be passed on and remembered. They at least have to be in our books. So here one more time is many thousand gone. No more auction block for me, no more, no more. No more auction block for me, many thousand gone. No more peck of corn for me, no more, no more. No more peck of corn for me, many thousand gone. No more driver's lash for me, no more, no more. No more driver's lash for me, many thousand gone. No more pint of salt for me, no more, no more. No more pint of salt for me, many thousand gone. No more 100 lash for me, no more, no more. No more 100 lash for me, many thousand gone. No more mistress call for me, no more, no more. No more mistress call for me, many thousand gone. This has been the Daily Poem. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll be back tomorrow with another poem for you.